Don here. Okay, back again with another live stream on the Net Pro Max and the DNS server. Been setting up on it. I got a few more things I want to do. Got notes to self here. I need to. I haven't been testing. I never did. I keep forgetting that when I do the local test, I probably should have been doing it from my, say, the machine I'm streaming from, another machine on the LAN instead of the server itself. That may be why it's not coming back. I hope it shows up can't be found when you do the local IP. I know there was most of those videos I saw. It showed you how you had to set up. You had to put your local machines that you wanted to be able to access your DNS server in its, I think it was a name config file, but anyway, or either that or the zone file, the main zone file. But I put any. Now it was a config file because that's where you can put any host, any access and all that stuff. I put any in there, and I believe that's correct. It didn't come back with errors anyway when I did that in the checks. And well, and another thing I want to check. And I want to change my IP address from the internal, the local address, to my external IP address. That might be why GoDaddy couldn't see it. And so I'm going to do that before I give up on saying, well, GoDaddy, well, not completely give up, but I want to see if GoDaddy can see it. And then that will have completely got what I wanted out of it, except there's still, I'm not sure even if it works like that. I'll probably go ahead and use it if it works like that. If it doesn't, I'm not going to keep on and on because it shows up online, but it could be something to do with GoDaddy. And the thing is, it takes so many, if I have to change my IP address and so all my zone files and every file on the DNS server, every time it changes, that's too much of a pain anyway. And I've said before I could probably do that with some apps I've got that will search and edit text files. And these zone files are just text files, It's search and edit, like search and replace on multiple. I think I even have a couple that can do it on remote hosts. Of course, I could do it on this machine and then copy it, and overwrite with like FileZilla or something. Then you got to make sure you got the file permissions, the file groups and permissions right, and all that too. And so anyway, that's lots of places to make mistakes. Whereas the way I've been doing with my forwarding service, my bishopco.us.2 from freedns.org. Or not free. freedns.afraid.org. That's what it is. Well, the way I've been doing that, I only have to go to that site and change it. That's why I've been doing it manually because, because my new router, my D-Link, I just haven't figured out how to get it to work in there. Really, that's the main reason. I guess I haven't done any real research, and I've just been meaning to and haven't. But I've always had in the back of my mind I wanted my own DNS server to point so that all my websites aren't forwarded, because when you forward them, it either shows to the web surfer, the person surfing, well, it didn't go to DonsDeals.com. It went to BishopCo or, so-and-so, so-and-so. One thing I like about it is that's without masking on your domain name. But what I like about it is when I see it, I know everything's in the right folder right quick, and I know what's wrong if it's not working. But and it actually, for a long time I had Don songs forwarded with masking, and it seemed to not work as well when it was set that way. But so I don't know. If I could get away from forwarding, I would like that. And I know from all these years ever since I started forwarding, ever since I changed to my own server, I've been having to do that. When I had GoDaddy, when I was renting, GoDaddy web servers, along with my domain names, and when that was around $125 a year, I think, and it just got to be too expensive, about $12 a month, something like that. And plus, I learned how to do it, and I was interested in it, and I just wanted to do it. But so I've been wanting, and I tried a couple of times and quit, gave up on setting on my own DNS server. I don't think I ever learned as much before as I did this time. I don't like exactly what kind of setup. I didn't know the there were so many different types of DNS servers. I didn't remember that recently anyway. But anyway, for reserve, what? Yeah, I set up my forward and forward and reverse zone files. I did that. I have them working now. I did that in the last video. Oh, and that script. If I'm going to set up, all of my domains, I really want to try to use that guy's script, I think. At least to get them set up basic, and then, but to put all the mail, then if I'm going to do that, I need all the mail records and everything in there from GoDaddy, which I can copy and paste out of my downloaded zone files from GoDaddy. That's okay. That I could do. But the initial setup, that's the other thing, is moving on to all the rest of the domains. Is a heck of a lot more work ahead, and not that I am getting a little tired of this particular project, but I'm always doing something. It's not like I don't like to do it, and sometimes if I get tired of something, I'll move on to something else for a while, and then after a while I felt like doing it again. But the thing is I've been trying to rebuild my mom. I rebuilt it once. I actually upgraded the hardware and then put Fedora 27 on it months and months ago. And then I had, I won't go into it, but, I had a malware scare, and I think everything was fine, but a bad add-on, let's see, from outonbrowser.com is where it came from, a Firefox add-on that said it made it look like it was VTZilla, and that's when they changed to Quantum Firefox, all the old add-ons I was using quit working, all of them. I had to find new ones. Well, I found this one. And it was basically you can't exactly call it, well, it's kind of, to me it's a fake VTZilla, which I'd used for years add-on. It used that one of the phrases out of their name. And the add-on in itself doesn't have anything malware in it, but its updates when it updates the add-on, every time it opens up a page, which a lot of the add-ons do that to their site and say, hey, don't you want to use our other add-ons? Don't you want to donate or whatever? Well, this one opens up to a site that's not even outonbrowser.com. It's some other site. Sometimes it's kind of not random. I'm sure they have it set up the way they want it, but sometimes it goes to a gaming website, and sometimes it goes to different. I think there's at least 3 different sites it goes to, and those sites, if you scan them in the real VTZilla or any other thing that can scan websites for malware, they're known to have malware. And so just as the way it worked, I just threw up red flags left and right. And so the bad thing about that is that doesn't just get that one machine. That gets every machine. I've been using Firefox Sync to automatically install the same add-ons in all my computers, including my mom's, that Fedora 27 that I was just talking about. And so we all, like 5 machines had that add-on on it. So we're all Linux machines, and I wasn't too worried, but the more I looked in it, the more worried I got, because there's plenty of malware that can hurt Linux, and you really got to be careful, and it's up to you to, watch and manually scan your system and do what you can with like ClamAV and Trojan hunters and stuff like that, rootkit hunter, because well, in Fedora anyway, ClamAV can run. I'm going off on a sidetrack, but it's kind of important, I guess. It's important in my mind right now. ClamAV can supposedly run real-time scanning, but there's an app that is not available in Fedora, and I tried to manually install it. I could never get it to work. Dracoot or something? No, that's not it. Anyway, there's something that it tells you in there, you need this, you're missing it, and I've never been able to get it to run ever since, 2005. I don't remember that's when I started with Linux. Now, when I first started trying to do that, I don't know. Back in years past, Avast actually had a Linux version. Didn't run real well, and I don't think they updated it very often. It was buggy. It would crash, and they just quit developing it altogether. I guess they saw they weren't going to make any money in it, so they quit. But so really, there's only, as far as scanning within your live operating system, you can use ClamAV, uh, which, well, since I'm talking, let me get on my desktop while I'm talking about this, so you won't see what I'm showing you. Okay, let's go to the desktop. That's where I'm going to need to be going anyway here real soon. Let's see, let's make sure everything's working on my... Yeah, okay, so now ClamAV, that is KLAMAV. That's the graphic user interface that I prefer. I get along with it the best. That's from KDE. ClamAV, see, that is the base program, CLAMAV, that is a command line program. Now you could run it from the command line because in order to have the the graphic user interface, then you've got to already have ClamAV. So if you just go to the repos and look for ClamAV with a K, then it will automatically install everything you need. There's another one that runs on GTK or something. Can't remember what it's called. I don't think I have it on this system, but yeah, if you just type AV, yeah, I don't think it's in there. Let's see. Trying to think. Yeah, rootkit, check rootkit I have on this system. There's a couple of others. And when you open it up, it will scan your system for rootkits. I think one of them, some of them you have to, it opens up a terminal window, and if you type like whatever the name of the program is, like chk rootkit, then it'll just automatically do it all for you. This one, I think it just does it, and you don't have to type anything. But you have to start those manually. They're not running in the background like Windows antivirus. Most all of them will, But that's what I was talking about. So anyway, I was going to, well, I think I still will do Fedora 28. Fedora 29 is fixing to come out, but there'll be bugs in it for 6 months that they'll be working out. So I'll probably go with Fedora 28 for her and try to set it to automatically upgrade at the right time. Well, I don't think they automatically. I think you have to answer, do you want to upgrade, and say yes and all that. But I did see the other day it's coming out real soon. Like, I don't know. I already forgot the date. But I'm running Fedora 28 on here, and there's not too many bugs in it. Actually, when I very first put it on several months ago, I think there was a few, but they've been worked out. But anyway, the whole point of all this is I'm off on a major sidetrack that is just taking on 4 times longer than, of course, I should. Like I say, I'd always should expect it, but I never do. It's taken 4 times longer than I expected it to, and I have got figured out my server. My websites are working. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that came up. See, and they're showing the actual where it really goes instead of showing DonsDeals.com. Let's reload it a couple of times and make sure it doesn't crap out. There's a couple of problems I've had since. Now this one's forwarded, and that's how come it does that. See, they have to be because, see, there they are. They're not on the root folder, root directory of my website. They're in that folder in that index.html file. And bishopco.com, you see, it just shows up bishopco.com. Oh, looky there. It looks like it's not loading. I actually did get a message. I'm still getting those messages saying, oh, it was down for so long, a couple of minutes to 2 or 3 hours to 5 hours. But I have 2 services I use. And then sometimes I'll go, let's see. Yeah, here's one of, oh, that's UStore. Oh, they're not in there. It's only the most recent. On static, oh, what did I type wrong? There. And yeah, this is the one that only checks every 30 minutes. This is the one I don't get too many messages from. It usually shows, oh, looky there. It says it's been down for 22 hours. What in the heck? All of them. With DonsOngs, it just worked. Now that could have been the cache on my... That can really fool you. If this one says it's down, it's probably down. And what's been happening is, and I still haven't actually went out there and figured out. This is another sidetrack now, but Well, I know what I can do. Okay, let's see. Uptime, that's what it's called. I forgot. When I got on the computer way earlier this evening, uh, I checked my emails, and then I forgot. Yeah, this one shows that they've all been down for 18 hours. Oh, so something I'm gonna be willing to bet that machine out there locked up. So let's go see. Well, let's just go ahead and let's see if we can just go ahead and fix it. If it's the router, the wireless router out in the garage, doing the one that's giving me my connection out in the garage, then no way. Yeah, if it's that, okay. What am I trying to say? Yeah, let's don't try to fix it yet. Here's what I want to do. I want to go to Putty. Sometimes the machine, what I'm trying to get at is the machine out there in the garage, whether or not it's locked up. And before fonts, I figured this out. I don't know why they don't give you an easy way to have to save your font sizes, and keep it that way. I went through the other day and found one that I liked. Easy to read, and all that. That one might be all right. That's good enough, I guess. Some of them are easier and harder to read than others. That's good. That's big enough too. That's close to where I was at, where the default. Okay, so go back to the main page. Let's see. Or open. See if it can contact it. If it can't, if it says no route to host, no route to host, and that machine is probably locked up. Sometimes I think I can go out there and the machine's doing just fine, and it's turned, and I believe it's the Wi-Fi router that's causing it. But here's what I can do since I'm already, I'm just fixing to forward it to the NetProMax anyway. When it's on the wired, it's not on the Wi-Fi. So, I know the machine's probably locked up or something. So I'll have to remember to Putty crashed. Okay, why it does that? I think it's always done that. About every other time you close it, just by hitting the X like normal, like you would think would be normal. See, the 154 is the one out in the garage, and 153 is the NetProMax. So I'm using the keyboard because it's faster. Hit enter twice. So I'll put it to 153, and that'll put me back online again. I've got more than one problem is the thing, and I still haven't figured out. That's why been trying to get this fixed. And I can't stand to hear this NetProMax. It's in my room so I can work on it, but I can't stand to listen to it all the time. So this one will check within 5 minutes or something. This one it's easy to just hit check now, even though since the page is open, it should be back up. No, it hasn't showed yet. Can't imagine what else would be wrong. Sometimes it just takes longer than you think. 153. Oh, I didn't hit save yet. That was what it was, I guess. See, usually I switch to just to double check, and I guess I didn't do that. So 153. Okay. Now, let's see. Where's that little button? There. I thought it should have happened quick like that. Because the router doesn't need to be rebooted when you do that. So now they're all back up. So those emails I got saying it was down, they were correct because I was asleep during all that time. So wasn't nothing I could do about it anyway. I used to have 99% uptime for year after year. Uh, but that was with the machine in the house right here where the Net Pro Max sits to the right of my monitor and plugged into the wired connection. But that Fedora 23, then the IBM, I put it outside because it had fans that started getting noisy, and I worked on it, couldn't get it to quit making noise, and I don't remember if I ever replaced the fans or just cleaned them or what. Now I did a bunch of work on them. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on fans, and I have been wanting to go to a 64-bit machine, so that's what got me on just to go ahead and do the. Well, my plan is so far right now. I think I'll do the Net Pro Max's 64-bit, and now it shows it to be up. Shows it's been up for 1 minute. So yeah, that machine out there evidently locked up. Or usually when I get out there and when it's in that condition, it's just flat locked up. The mouse won't respond. So that machine, that old 500 megahertz Pentium 3, it's just old, and it might have got too cold for it last night. Out there in the garage. I think they do better. I think I'm figuring out they do better in the heat than they do in the cold. But now it could be the opposite. It could be, well, no, it didn't. I couldn't get to it with putty. And the last time, one time not too long ago, I could get to it with putty, and I rebooted it from in here, and I think it may have fixed it. Well, actually, I don't remember whether it fixed it or not, but it's two things. That machine, and then the other thing is, and that's out there, that machine out there is, I'll be talking about that in a minute. That machine out there is, it's one problem that I thought it was just like once in a great while, but it seems to be it's doing at least once a week. Okay, then the other problem is the router out there is about gone too. It's about wore out. And I think I'm going to go ahead and buy me a 8 or maybe even a 16-port switch and plug it into the D-Link. Then and something I've wanted for years and years, then all my IP addresses in here will be on the same. They'll all be fed from the DNS server on the router, so they'll all be 192.168.0. whatever. And then the TP-Link, I'm going to put DDWRT on it, most likely, unless I see something else I'd rather have, but I'll probably do that because I've already got, I'll look and see if there's a newer version, but I've already got a version that will run on it, downloaded and ready to go. So if I put DDWRT on it, on my TP-Link router, and it's just a couple of years or 3 years older than the D-Link, it's a gigabit router, and it's got good fast Wi-Fi and everything. Like, I think it'll do 750, 800 megabits on the Wi-Fi. Realistic speed, And so if I put DDWR, but it won't do a wireless repeater, but it will if I put that on there. I already did that to my Linksys. That's how come I'm able to use it. I had one called a ZoneNet that was built that way. You could do it by default, and I used it until it wore out. And the other thing is, they may not, it's hard to tell just how wore out they are and how much it is that the older technology is just getting walked on. The wireless technology is getting walked on by the newer wireless routers, and also not just that, but all the wireless technology in the air in your area. It's not just routers, but you can see plenty of them right here from my house, 5, 6, 7 of them or something, just right here. I mean, and that's only wireless broadcasts. That's only it could be printers, it can be routers, it can be phone hotspots. But we're talking Wi-Fi. That only reaches like like from where I'm at, on my end of the house, it might reach up into the neighbor's den, maybe the middle of their house. And then on the other side, I do good just to reach to the garage where my repeater is at. They can see my signal across the street. I can see the people's signals across the street and all that, but I've got 3 or 4 of them that are strong enough that if they weren't locked, I could just hook onto them, and work good, and they could me if mine weren't locked, With them, I thought of the word lock because there's a little picture of a lock on there, but they have a password on them. So, where was I going with all that? I don't know anymore. But anyway, if I get the Net Pro Max, I mean, it's up and running and has been. It's just I was doing the DNS server. But if I get it out there in the garage and go ahead and get me a new switch so that I'll be able to connect everything up in here, and then put another project, as long as that goes well, though, it'll be okay. I'm always a little scared of that because you can break your routers, but put DDWRT on the TP-Link and put it out there. It should do well. If it doesn't, then I'll have to set me up a server in here again on the wired connection. And there won't be that Net Pro Max. It's just no way to make it that quiet enough, I don't think. Well, there is one thing. I have one machine. No, I have two machines. Mom's and mine. My old machine, well, it's loud because of its CPU fan, I think. Anyway, the big 120 millimeter fans, they move lots of air. I've got them in two machines, and they're really quiet. And I can get like 3 or 4 of them for $15 now, and they have good reviews. So if they'll fit those boxes, that's what I could do. Some boxes only have a whole vents in the. I mean, you can drill your own mounting holes easily enough, but if it doesn't have enough vent holes, then you're going to completely block half the fan, you know. And I haven't looked in those boxes to see yet. Some of them are ready to go for 120 millimeter fans, and some of them aren't. But to get an 80 millimeter fan, the cheapest ones I've seen with getting decent reviews that aren't too loud for me, I don't want anything over about 25 dB. Most of them are all 35 dB in that size that blow any air and have good reviews. And ones with good reviews of 80 millimeters that I've seen are about $7 each, and that's just too darn much to spend on a little old $2 fan. So anyway, let's go back to the desktop again, and so that's why I want to try to cut short. Will kind of cut short. I mean, it ain't short. That's why I may quit this. I'm going to quit this DNS junk whether it works or not. I can still go back to the forwarding and all that. But I want to try a couple more things before I quit. Before I just completely say, okay, I'm done with all that. Now, what was the first thing? Oh, I want to, got my little notes here. Let's get over here. Oh, well, before I do that, and by the way, all these videos I've been making, if you do go to my playlist, I've been renaming it here and there because to make it more accurate to what's been going on. This is the my playlist page. This is the one where I could edit it and everything, you know. And that's the name of it. And if you see in there, don't be confused by the fact that the numbers don't match up, like there's no 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where I actually installed. There's actually one more before that. If you don't know how to put it on the USB, go to my playlist for my websites. I guess I should have showed that. Well, I can show it. This one is in here because it actually has to do with setting. During the time of me installing, I keep talking about when I installed Fedora 28 with the web install. This is it. This is the video on doing that. And it's showing exactly what I chose and everything else. And this is the first video I did on. This is when I didn't have to install bind, you know, the DNS server. It was already installed up here. And this is the first video, and then it moves on, and they actually are in the right order, all the way up to the last one I did, number 18. And that there is, well, it's 18, and the reason it's number 18, and the reason they have a jump on the numbering is because it was originally started. All this was originally started. Let's see if I can go back. Well, no, that goes back to a different page. I'm trying to see how am I going to get back to my playlist now. You have to can be really okay. There we go. Sometimes that my channel. You know, it depends on where you are as to if you can use that to go to your channel. There I am live now. Now go to playlists, and okay, this is that's the one I just showed you. Easy to boot. And I've been going back and forth between subjects is the thing. but some of them tie into more than one of these playlists. So this one is Don's websites and writing Fedora image and all that. Let's see. And so it starts with number 1. And let's just go to the editing page. It shows up better. This is the one here that's got it all. Everything about my websites and the whole thing. But I figured, really nobody's going to watch all this as long as all my videos are. But that's the way I do them, because I do them live. And I just know for years I thought I would make videos and then edit them, but I never did it. So I'm just doing them this way now. So anyway, that's where number 1 actually is. And then there's number 2, the first one in that other playlist. And then if you don't know how to put it on the USB stick there, that one is. And this is events. In other words, I always love that. Events occur in real time. That old TV show 24. I used to really like that. That's the way I do videos. My events occur in real time. So however long it took me to do it, that's how long the video is. And well, I mean, of course, sometimes I quit and start up again and stuff because I wear out or whatever. But these are all in order, and you see you get all the way up to, I don't know, I think that might have been it, yeah. See, that was about the backup server, and then that's the first one about bind DNS, bind the DNS server. And all the way up until, I guess now, yeah, there's not any skipped, but if you see any missing numbers, that's because this is the original playlist, and I just couldn't think of my mind somehow to make it make sense. I decided to let this one be the full, start to finish of everything to do with my websites, and the other one to be just about bind, about DNS servers. So I thought I'd say that. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted. So I'm going to log into the NetPro Max here. And if I can remember the password. Okay, now it's been sitting there running for a while, so let's see. Okay, yeah, now we don't have any errors except for too much work for RQ22 and too large reducing. I think that's the result of this error. That's why I read the bottom and then the top. Well, those are 2 separate errors, DHC client and kernel. Those are 2 separate errors. So that doesn't sound like it would hurt anything. Whatever the default size is on, I don't know, is it time max? I don't know what it is. I really don't know what that is. And I've looked in there. And yeah, I live network manager. Okay, network manager. DHC client. So that'd be the THCP client. Don't know why it does that, but it reduces the size of one of its files to make it work. And I'm sure you could fix that somehow by just setting the default to that other size or something. Network Manager Service. So that's what that is. And then this one here I've looked it up even, and I didn't see anything that really sounded like you needed to fix it. And I think what it is the old hardware just can't handle whatever that setting is. But let's see, we'll go to the terminal there. Let's see. We'll do an NS. Let's see, that's a good one. No, that's my external IP address. I'll just go ahead and run that. And you see it comes up. It sees that sometimes it says Charter, sometimes it says Spectrum. Depending on what Charter's the original name of the company. That's my ISP. But that's my external IP, and they see that it's Spectrum. So that's a successful lookup, in other words. And Now, that there never doesn't come back, the local lookup. Now, here's what I've been wanting to try. It finally hit me. Oh, it's hit me, I don't know how many times, that I'm probably doing it wrong. So let's try. Oops, don't do that. I want to move you. Okay, so let's try it on my host machine of my, well, this is the client. Concerning to that server, this is the client. It's my machine that I'm working on here, the one I'm streaming from. Okay, so no, same results. So I don't know. The only thing else I can think of is that I didn't put this client's IP address in the name file. Oh, yeah, I think it's a name config file as being one that's allowed to connect. But I put any in there. Is what I did. But then again, there could be something still not configured right. That's a reverse lookup, you know, for that IP address. And let's see. I'm going to try this one now. I haven't ever just done this back and forth from, you know, the server. I've been doing them all from remote shell and the server itself. Okay, that gives the same results. Now, let's try NS lookup for, I should have it in my, there, NS lookup for bishopco.biz. I know that works. Trying to copy that. I was trying to do it with the keyboard, I guess. Now let's run it and see. Okay, now see, it sees the DNS, what it sees is the DNS servers that Charter Spectrum. That's what I'm using. I'm not using my, there is the DNS caching servers. I'm not using the one in my router. Maybe I should turn it back on. That's something else I haven't. I thought it might interfere and cause me trouble, but then again, it might make it work. And then non-authoritative answer, bishopco.biz, 47, and that, you know, that's my name server, bishopco.biz. That's the only one I have set up. I don't have any other, and that's my external IP. So it's a success. It's not authoritative, and I want it to be authoritative. I'm not sure what would make that difference. If it just ran all day and night for a while, it would become seen as authoritative, or what? I don't know. Let's see what happens when we run it over there. Yeah, the ones that work seem to just come up exactly the same no matter which machine I do it from. Let's see, what else? There's another one. Dig. I wonder if you can dig 153. That's got a space in there. Oh, it didn't. Looked like it did. Okay, so let's dig on the, you know, on the Net Pro Max, from the Net Pro Max. Sees that it's Red Hat NS server, which is correct. It's the Red Hat version on Fedora 28. And sees the IP address. And all that. Of course, now let's see if you can do that from over here. Yeah. Get the exact same results. Make that a little bigger so that whenever I run stuff. Now, what is the other thing? Let's look back through what I've done and see here. Done host T on the IP address. You can do that on the domain name, but it's I think you pretty well get the same information. Ones that it shows you is just, you know, well, going back between bishopco.biz and the IP addresses, but you do get success. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, 153. I was going to say, is that the gateway's address? But no, that's this machine. Dig works. NS lookup works on bishopco.biz. I thought I ran it on. Am I not? Oops. I may have. I think maybe some of it's above what you can see, and I don't. Oh yeah, you can page up. That didn't work. That didn't work either. I tried to page up and down. I didn't know you could do that. Paging up brings up the previous commands, just like when you roll your, use your up and down arrow keys. Let's see, I already did bishopco.biz, didn't I? Yeah. I thought I did 153. Can't find the server. Let's see. I did do that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. DNS lookup. And it just doesn't work. Can't find it. So that's one thing that I don't know for sure if that would stop. I don't think it would stop. It shows up. Everything I run here shows me that it's being seen on the internet, and so I don't know why GoDaddy wouldn't see it. But that is something that, if everything that they show you to check isn't working, then maybe that's it, but I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, if I did, I guess I don't have to copy and paste it I can do that. And then do that. Bishopco.biz. And it comes up with the name servers on GoDaddy. And that would be right, because that's what I'm using to get me here. I have in my GoDaddy settings, I have it set to go to my external IP address. So of course it should be the same. So everything seems to be working except for the reverse lookup. And all indications show that I'm online on the internet. And so when I go to GoDaddy and try to change it, I'll just go there again before I do anything. When I go there and try to change it, it can't be seen by the GoDaddy setup. I got to get the password out, because I can't remember that. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in there and try it one more time before I'm confused about. Okay, so bishopco.biz. And see that my IP is set manually to my external IP address. All my mail records are in there and everything. And that what I would have to put on my DNS server. It's another thing I would have to do. Now it's not forwarded, and I just downloaded my backup zone files yesterday again to make sure. So if you hit change on the name servers, then they have default, and then they have custom. And then it gives you all this stuff about if you're using these, they'll help you try to set them up. And it does not remember the last thing you did. This one, bishopco.biz. Let's see. To make sure I'm not screwing it up, I'm going to have to go in here and I always forget how to get there. I don't think you even have to log in to see. You might. Yeah, I guess you do. You can't go to any of those pages without logging in. What did you do? There. hit the wrong thing. Okay. It's not that one then. Oh, I think it's backup DNS. Yeah, backup DNS, and so that's what I'm going to use because they tell you it's not good to try to run two. Actually, I think it's really hard even if you want to do it. But they say it's not good to run. It's silly. It would, to me, in my mind, it'd be silly to run your backup DNS server as the same one. It's not a backup. Why do all that work? So my forwarding, it's not going to quit. I can use it anytime I want. So ns2.afraid.org will be my backup DNS server. And I've already tried it before. I put ns1.afraid and ns2, and it took that. So, but it says unavailable to ns1.bishopco.biz. So, just leave that like that. I guess I'll leave that open too in case I need it again. Okay, I forget the simplest things real quick. So my external IP is what I'm thinking I will put in my setup files, my configuration files on my server. Yeah, and before I do all that, let's back all these up. Let's copy them. Oh yeah, well, I was just going to go through this. There is one thing. I was looking at my bishopco.biz zone file that I downloaded. Now, before I go do that, let's look in there. Not commander. Actually, no, let's do the backup before I end up forgetting. I'll have to log into it from here and copy them to this machine because I'm fixing to change them, so I'd like to have them in the state that they're in. One 192.168.0.153. You got to type an R, not root. Let's see. All right, that puts me in root, and I want to be in. I want an etc. And named. That's a folder. I didn't know there was a name folder. Or is that the file? No, that's a named folder. Well, it doesn't open up. Yeah, that's the folder. I guess it just went to the last folder I was in, is what it did. etc. Named. Well, I hit enter and it did that. Cancel. Yeah, using the keyboard works completely different in here. Is that the file name? Let's download it and see. I don't. If it is a folder, I guess we'll find out. Doesn't seem to be a folder. Let's see. Last modified. 11.4.18, 11.20. Yeah. Oh, it would help me to know where I'm at if I had that up there where I could see that. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. It turns blue and you can tell. Named config. Well, let's view it and see. That's weird. It has an icon as a folder. It's hard to tell what's a folder and what's a file in here. I just now realized. There's a lot of reasons like that why I don't care for this FTP, but it's the only one that it's easy to use. Well, fairly easy to use, and I used to use Crusader and it won't work anymore. It did not open up. Put edit. There we go. Oh. Yeah, use the default editor. Doesn't act like, there we go. XEMax. I didn't even know that was on this system. It's opened it up in a GUI. I didn't think XEMax. Emacs is a command line text editing program. Sure is small. And hitting Control Plus doesn't make it any bigger. Okay, I want to see if it's the one that just, my newest one. No, it's not. It doesn't have any of the new stuff on it. So close that. Yeah, I might be getting too many things open. I think I'll close this one. No, I wanted to compare it. That's the whole, one of the things I was trying to do. I thought I had some folders in there. There we go. Yeah, they're named. So it's not organized. It's not bringing that up to the top because it's a folder. All right. So that was a folder, but it's empty. That's what I just downloaded. Where's my named config file? Is it not showing those kind of files? Is that what it is? Let's just roll down and look. It may be that. Nope. That is the. Oh, I think I'm in the name folder, yeah, of that, and it's empty. That's weird. Okay, etc. Now let's roll down here. I didn't know there was a named folder in there. Okay, that's my problem. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and download it into that folder. That seems like a good idea to keep it organized. Name config. I'm just going to go ahead and do those too. I know that's a common one. Let's download that. Okay, see any others? You'd think those would be in that folder, wouldn't you? But that is how it was installed by Fedora installer. So, and it works. So, well, and that's where they. And when you look at the instructions, they all tell you it's going to be ECC name. So, but I kind of wonder why there's an empty folder there. Maybe it has to do with using chroot. Maybe you're supposed to put it in there for the protection. There's another way to set it up instead of in the default folders to put everything in chroot. They call it setting up a chroot environment, I think. Hosts, host name, host config, hosts allow, host deny. Now that's actually not all in named, is it? Well, I might rename that folder then because it's not beginning to make sense. I'll put like DNS. Yeah, Fedora 28 DNS server or something. Okay. See if we can rename it now. There we go. That might be helpful there. Okay, now. Yeah. Now let's go to var. And we want to go to var named. That's why it had me so thrown around because I was like, wait, what? Okay, now bishopco.biz. I'm going to get all of those, I think. Now that's it. Now there's the, see, you copy them to chroot folder in all the various places, and that's supposed to be more secure. If someone was to break into your server, they'd be stuck in there, I guess. I don't see how, if they could break in, it seems like they could go anywhere anyway. Well, I guess they could, maybe if they, Usually, if to break in, you have to have root access, so you can go anywhere. So I don't quite get, but I mean, I know they know what they're talking about. It's something about it. All that. Anyway, that's another whole can of worms to learn about. I just thought, well, since I'd already done so much work in the standard way, I would just, do it like that. Now, is there any other? Let's leave this open because I may find something else I need to download. And I wonder if you can edit a remote file. Of course, it's a weird. That's the default editor. I would have never thought. Oh, that's what. I guess that's what they put with this program. How do you make the font bigger? It says shrink to fit and all this stuff. I want it font bigger. At least it is a GUI. I'm sure I got this in I did a group installs of different things that I thought would be interesting. And that's how I got that. It's a little bit bigger but harder to read. I didn't pay attention to what the default font was. I like that. It looks like Times New Roman, but really those more plain and straight fonts can be easier to read. I just saw that it has font size. Let's try font again. I have a lot of fonts. There's Times. Yeah, that's even harder to read. I don't pay much attention to too many fonts. I just, except for Times New Roman. That's the one that I always like for my letters and stuff. I remember that one. Oh, that's not much different. Darn. You have to do it in order to see what it's going to be like. I do remember something about sans. Yeah, that's a little. Well, that's not like it's not all there. That's weird. That's not bad. Size is okay still the way it was. Not a bold or the size is 12. Okay. Well, I'm been forever trying to figure that out. Now, I guess I could probably edit. I never really thought about doing that. I've been, using Midnight Commander, which is good. I can read that pretty good. I can read it better than this. I guess you could change it right here and then hit save. I don't know if you could do it remotely or not. Save as. Doesn't have just a plain old save, I don't think. So maybe since it's a remote file, it wouldn't wouldn't be able to just save it. You'd have to save as here on your local machine. Anyway, this is kind of an odd editor, so I'm not going to edit it from there. I keep thinking of my, yeah, I'm going to have to, I may boot up the Fedora 14, or I may look to see if I have any of those mass text editors. I mean, that I can do remotely, but it could be good and it could be bad. But well, there's one place that I can't remember. I think I'm going to go into Midnight Commander now. Let's see. Well, I'll leave this open. Let's go into Midnight Commander because I actually have gotten so accustomed to it. It's so much like less graphics, but it's so much like Crusader and I can read the font really good. Yeah, I can read that so much better. The blue background, I could take that or leave it, but it definitely doesn't hurt. I mean, with the white text, it's great. It's fine. You can copy files. This will do FTP connections and SFTP and everything else under the sun. I've done it to my gateway out in the garage, and it works great. But this machine I'm working on doesn't have SFTP installed on it even, so I can't do that. HTTPD. There's a file somewhere, I think it was a networking file or something, that I had to edit at one point, and I don't remember where it is, but I would like to back it. Well, it may have my local IP in it, and I may need to change it just like these others. Very secure FTPD, that's what I use, and that's in there because, see, this is etc for the whole machine, the folder. It's got a lot of stuff in it, and yeah, this is not a good folder you'd want anybody to get into. Of course, if they got into your machine as root, then they can do anything they want. If they got in here with, you know, any kind of FTP program, or if they work in the terminal or a graphic like this, they could just wreak havoc in your system if they get in there. So that's the risk you have to take with running a web server. I mean, that's why I don't turn on an FTP server to the internet anymore, because that could be done. You know, that's what they were trying to do to me before, and they never succeeded. And that's why. But they kept using up my bandwidth and trying. You know, fstab. That's some boot settings. Host config. I already copied all that. Host allow. Net tab. Named config. Oh. What is a named config? That must have been when I wrote, named config. Yeah, that's the main one. I guess I copied that, didn't I? Yeah, that has, seems like it's got a lot less in it, though. See, listen on any port. This is what I was trying to talk. When I can't do my reverse lookup, I don't understand why, because I have listen on any port, IPv6, none. And then down here, that's the other one that you edit, allow query. That's what I was doing on any. Unless that's wrong somehow. But I could add. Might do that here in a minute when I start actually editing it. Right now I'm trying to make sure I get them backed up as they are. And recursion I turned off. I said it was yes. I said no, because that would make it a caching DNS server. And it tells you right here in this file, if you're going to run a authoritative server, turn off recursion for safety. Otherwise, you need to set up a particular kind of security, BCP38. And so I just turned it off. And I don't think that it would have anything to do with, you know, GoDaddy not seeing it, but I'm starting to wonder now. But yeah, named config, I'm pretty sure I've already got that, but let's go make sure. etc. That's that folder. When you do it again, it doesn't go anywhere. That's what got me. Well, this time it did. I just had to get on down there a little ways. Name config, download. Yeah, it says did. What do you want to do? Do you want to override it? I'm just going to say cancel. Normally what I would do is overwrite if sources size your source is newer and always use this action. I actually don't want to do that right now. I don't want that to always be the case. What I really want to do is rename them. Well, I guess I can, like when I download the next ones, I better download them in another folder, huh? That's what I better do. Okay, what have I got? Zone file name config, forward and reversed, host name, host allow, host config, name CA, name empty, host config. Let's, when you say open, it doesn't open. I don't know why. If you say edit, then it does. It's just, it didn't save my settings on the fonts either. Host config, multi on, that's it. Oh, and then there's something in warnings. Huh. Oh, that's XEMX warnings. Huh. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. What's the deal with that? I guess it's kind of like an error message, I guess. Sure takes a long time to shut it down. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking. Let's keep looking on in here again. I can read that pretty good. I'm just worried about messing things up because I use my shortcut keys a lot, and I tend to do that in here. And I've deleted stuff before, and I renamed them, or like I clicked on the rename and lost a letter or two, and didn't even know what the file name was, you know, stuff like that by accident. So just be careful, I guess. Networks. Net config. Guess I didn't have those. All right. Yeah, I did those hosts, and now I haven't been working in those files, but I just thought those are common files, network files, so I downloaded them. In ETC network manager. Could be that. I've already downloaded that before. I'm just going to download that whole file, I think. Yeah, that whole folder, I mean. Well, if I did, I didn't, it didn't ask me if I wanted to override anything. Small again, but I don't see any IP address. What I want to know is, does it have IP addresses in there? It's actually got one command in there, and the rest are all commented out. I'm just telling you, and of course I could read all that, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so I don't think that was any of the stuff I ended up working in anyway, but got it in case you need it. DNS mask, nothing in there. that would be that's Apache web server in HTTPD. Let's see, where am I now? Am I back where I should be? It was a shortcut, so it took you off to another set of directories. Okay, so I don't see anything else. So let's go to var again. Var account, cache, admin, empty FTP, games. See, this also has my website in it, so. I already downloaded all those. No, I didn't do anything to do with that. You see www, that's my website. Well, it's in HTML, but that's my website. And I've already got that, so I don't need that again. I don't know, that other file, well, I wanted to see if I could find it again to see if it looks like I need to edit it for one thing, but I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect now. What's all that about? There's no transfers going on. I guess those files that I had open, they're still showing up to be held, you know. I don't think that little editor program works really well. I said had warnings in it when I closed it, and it took a while to close. That's kind of a clue sometimes that they're not working right. Let's go to my backup folder here. Yeah, that's that. And then there that is. Okay. Bishop.biz zone. Yeah, see, I'm going to have to, what I'm thinking of, what I'm trying to do is do search and replace for 192 on all these files that I know I need to change, and change it to my external IP address. And we can view the ones I downloaded at least. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Net config. Loop back and link local 169.254.0.0. Huh. That one doesn't seem right. It's completely not any network that I use. I wonder if that has something to do with my problem. 169. Well, now I've got, yeah, 169. I don't know, but I'm not going to do it and break something. Host deny, host allow. There's nothing in there. I could put host allow. Now I could put like this machine that I'm on in there or something, but let's see about hosts. But that is not the file from what I remember. Yeah, and that's just got loopback and that. Not the file that I remember them. And they do it all, like a lot of them, they're linked to some other file that you edit and don't edit the main file. They get done automatically. And name.ca, let's see. Oh, that's the root servers, DNS servers. So I'm not going to bother with those. 192, those are local. Anyway, I think that's edited automatically by the system anyway. That might not be the one I'm thinking of. Okay. That has IPv6 in it as well as the loopback. And there's a loopback file, so it should, well, oh, it has both. That's fine. I mean, if you ever run into a need for as long as it's not hurting anything, I'm not going to go try to take out all the IPv6 stuff. Now that I think is the, I thought this was going to be the one, but this is something else. Provided by Red Hat caching name server package. Okay. ISC bind name zone configuration for zones recommended by RFC 1912 section so and so. This is the official stuff. IETF.org so and so so and so. So allow update none. Allow update none. Allow update none. Local host. Local host. It's all local host though. Master. Huh. Only one. They're all. That's the only one that I don't know what it is right here. 0.in.arpa. But I'm not going to bother with it because I've never seen anything to tell you to bother with it. Named config. Yeah, okay. This is my main named configs, and this is it. The way I've edited it. The only thing I think I might ought to do. I don't think it doesn't. I mean, I could do that. I probably just should do it. I'd make sure I'm right about that, I guess. But I think that is in other examples I was following. That was down at the bottom. I don't think it actually matters, but because this doesn't show up to be broken or anything, unless it has. That's the reason why my reverse lookup doesn't work. But looking at what's in it, I don't see how that could be the case. Let's see. Yeah, allow any. See that other file I was looking in. I don't remember where it was or what it was now, but this is the name config file. The one I was looking in didn't have everything in it. Maybe it was the viewer I was looking in. But anyway, 453, any, able to access it. None for the IPv6. All that stuff is standard. You don't change that. Any on allow query, and then recursion I turned off. And I started thinking, let's don't even go into that. Yeah, well, if I turned on, if recursion might, maybe I need a DNS recursion DNS caching server on for like GoDaddy to see. That's what I'm wondering. So maybe it's not advertising. This is supposed to be a authoritative advertising DNS server, and maybe it's not advertising because I don't have one turned on. Now, I could just turn on the one on my router. I think it would probably be safer than turning this one on. But then again, they might fight each other. They're on the same port. That's what I thought, So that's why I didn't do that. From what I understand, they should be, well, they all use the same port though. Yeah, but the same port on the same network. Like when you have both services running, you should have them on different networks. I think like different external IP addresses. If you don't, and they're on the same port, it's going to hang up. I know that from doing web servers. So you'd have to like do a virtual one for one of them. So that's why I don't want to, I haven't turned that on and haven't turned it on in the router. It turned it back on in the router. It was on when I started, and I just figured that out. I happened to notice it. But all these work. But anyway, that would have to be manually changed. Well, no, it wouldn't. Now that, I don't know how. Oh, I just have to do the reverse of my external. Okay. So yeah, I could be sitting here just manually changing them all this time. I'm going in circles here. But I did think it would be worth a look. And I could have added these and then copy them over. Well, I'd probably want to go ahead and make copies and edit them. But edit the copies. But the permissions, the reason I'd prefer to edit them on the server is the file permissions. Yeah, this is, this is a bishopco.c. It's down at the bottom, and it's got, doesn't look near the same, of course. Well, it wouldn't. But anyway, the mail, it's got all the MS records for the mail, MX, I mean. Well, some of them are MX. They're all different kinds of mail records, C names and everything else. At the top, if you compare them, they look, I've looked at them lots of times. Up here, it's, instead of domain control, it's bishopco.biz. Then down here, same thing. And but But that's the one, same basic ones I think that I was looking at saying. I noticed that everybody puts them. Where did they go? I was just viewing. Didn't edit it, did I? Oh, zones. I guess they're not the same files after all, are they? Root key. Where's the one I was looking at? Oh, that's a whole other thing there, isn't it? It's so different than the way I had to set mine up. That's the actual name servers. Well, that's the name servers it's using. Okay, so you wouldn't put your own. Oh, I guess that is what's in there. Oops. I can't figure out how to get back to where I was. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Zone. See, that doesn't say zone. It says ampersand. But that is the name servers that it's using. This is a zone file, and this is my name config file. That's why it looks so different. Okay, yeah, we'll try comparing the right files to figure that stuff out. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to close that again. Yes, this is why I need automation for doing this stuff, because I'm not good at it. All right, now. There it is, bishopco.biz zone. Okay. Now it's beginning to look more like it. Bishopco.biz, the times and stuff, and see there's no mail records in there, and then there's the ampersand, and that's bishopco.biz, IP address, and then again, this is the thing I had to add, I think, ns1. Bishopco.biz, and just like that, exactly like that, for it to work. That's when I couldn't get it to work. See, this is ampersand and the time. That's the time to live. I know that. And yeah, there is no time to live down here, but it didn't throw anything off, I don't guess. Yeah, see, this is all. If you couldn't. I don't know how. I mean, obviously theirs works for their works for their name servers. That's one thing. I don't know what they may not be using Bind. They could be using something else. There are some 3 or 4 main types of main softwares that are, DNS servers. So they might be using something else. They did say you have to edit it and everything. Up here in the top it says you got to edit this and make it work on your name server. Yeah, so see at the top it's got only thing even similar to mine. Okay, the SOA record, they got it labeled. That helps. That part up there, their servers, and then the A records. To my see, it is pointing to my external IP because that's where my server is, and then my domain name. I don't have that set in there. My subdomain. I'm really not using that for anything. I used to have it forwarded to a free blog that GoDaddy was giving out, and I think they took it away because I tried to go to it the other day. And then NS records is what those are called, name server records. Mine are quite a bit different in the way they look. So copying that would, I don't know. I'm not going to change the layout of it because this is what works. I know that for sure. So yeah, I'm beginning. The only thing I can see that I could do, that I know I could do, is copy this. Well, you probably don't need the blank ones there, just these here. Copy these and put them in there so that my email would work. But I don't need to do that unless the thing starts working and I'm really going to use it. And I will have to do that Well, I know I have to do it in my zone files. I don't know if I have to do it in the forward and reverse zone files or not. Hopefully not for every one of my domains. But, okay, I'm just going to close that one now. Okay, so, yeah, I used to do this. I used to use Crusader and SFTP into the other machine. And with Crusader, you could open a file, work on it here, and then hit save and save it to the remote machine. That was so convenient. And you can read it well, you know, and everything. So that doesn't work anymore. I keep saying that every time, but I've tried it twice at least, and I ran into problems and it wouldn't work for me. But installing, I think I might just need RSA keys and public and private keys on both machines, and then might work. I thought I did that once on Fedora 23, I think, and got it working, or something that wasn't working on. But tried it once and it didn't work, and I either messed up or it just doesn't work. But you just get an error saying that that's not supported when if you used to you logged in with your password, but they may have stopped that for security reasons. They've been trying to go to those RSA keys for everything. They think it's more secure, you know. But so this, okay, that's name config, but I can edit them straight on the machine. That's the way. If I'm gonna just manually do it, I'll do it straight on the machine. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what happened. See what I have with. What do I have in the way of text editors? Emacs. Yeah, there's Emacs right there. G client. Now that's probably a remote text editor. Kate. That's really weird because there's Kate and Kwrite, and I believe I didn't know there were two different ones. I thought they were the same program. It may be Pluma text editor and Emacs text editor. That was the one I had opened up a while ago. So I've got Emacs and Emacs. So Kate, let's see what it looks like. Well, it just looks like, it looks a little different than what I'm used to, I think. But just looks like a text editor. Okay. Discard. Now let's see what Kwrite looks like. Yeah, it looks something different about it. This is the one I guess I use all the time, and I didn't pay any attention if it said Kate at the top. It says Kate. All right. Yeah, it's a different program. I thought somehow I got the idea that it was the same program and that they were the same program. This is the one I generally like to use. Yep, Kwrite. Okay. Let's see about GNU client, because I think it might be a remote. Didn't open up anything. Maybe it's like a back end. Sometimes those things are back ends to some other program. Emacs, Pluma, LibreOffice I don't use for text much because first you got to remember to save as text, but the other thing is you got to save it when you just want a text file as a config file on a machine. There's so many different formats it can save as. You may have a text file with the wrong type of text file and it won't work. And then there's Pluma, which is pretty basic and easy to use, and that one I'm not even sure which one it is. Let's see which one it is. It's the Fedora. Yeah, that's got that weird interface. That probably goes along with I don't know. I'd say that and I don't know. Let's see if it has. Yeah. Gedit. Oh, that's Gedit. I was going to say it goes along like the default for Genome 3 or something. And it may be because it says Gedit. It might be Genome Edit. Yeah, I bet it is. So that's kind of looks like Genome 3 desktop, which I can't stand. It's missing half of the operations in it that you can do, you know, configuration. You can't even, like the viewer that I was using, because it worked really fast, I couldn't even move it to another desktop. This is the regular Emacs, the GUI Emacs. It looks more like a regular. I was wondering if it would say anything about like connecting to another machine or something. I'm wanting something that has a edit multiple files. I don't think I have anything like that installed on here. Now that's everything under edit. Of course, that's every type of editor. Don't see anything. Yeah, remote desktop viewers, Romania Connect. Now, those are all remote desktop viewers. So, I didn't pay attention. There's something to do with KJ, the, what is this? Oh, KJ's, that's the default file manager for Fedora that Fedora puts in. It says it's a text editor, but it didn't open up. I don't know. GNU client. Did I open up that text editor there? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. I'm going to turn on the, I think I have to, I'm probably, it's not that I'm looking for quicker, I'm looking for more accurate, because obviously I could have probably been done doing all that by now, but I know how hard it is for me to find all the right places and edit them all, so I'm looking to, I turned on my Fedora 14 system, but I don't think I can do a remote desktop into it without going to it and turning it. I think I have to go, I don't have to turn it on, but it has to be logged in. Yeah, so let me get over there on it. Oh, well, we'll just use camera 2. It's all set up. You won't see it very good, but you'll see it. That's camera 1. Camera 2. Okay. Now. And I have to switch the monitor too. It's on the DVI input. It's the only machine I've got with a DVI video card. And it just so happens that one of my VGA cables, you know, on my KVM switch, my VGA cables, one of them's gone bad. If you move it one way, it works, another way it doesn't. And so I plug it in there and then run, you know, for just the USB, and then I use the DVI cable straight from the computer to the monitor, because it can switch between VGA and DVI. But it's DVI, not HDMI too, by the way. But yeah, I have used this machine for years, and it is sharper. You can see a difference. Let's see what. Oh yeah, this one's IP address is going to be on another router. 168.1.102. So I think that made me remember how to get to it, though. I already have forwarding set up on the routers, and I try to not change that. So, oh yeah, I have the one I like right here. Yeah, the icons, I need to just pick another set of icons, because it throws up the same icon for two different programs there. Yeah, I think it's 0.117. hope that's already forwarded over to that router and to the red black BioStar is what I call that machine. Just booted up, so it may not be ready to be connected to yet. It hasn't come back and said, no route to host or whatever, can't connect. Oh, I better look and see the password, though, while I'm waiting to see what's going to happen there. Taking forever to decide what it's going to do. I think I'll try disconnecting and reconnecting. Could be that, as many times as I have to reboot my modem and router, that they've actually lost connection. That other router might need to be rebooted. Can't remember. I was thinking that one, the .1 instead of .0, like this one here, was the trend net, which would be the last one on my chain, but I guess it's TP-Link. See, this one is 192.168.0.192. That one was 1.102 or something. But on here, I have to go to the port on my router that points to that I think, I'm not sure if it'll even show me. Let's look and see. This router's kind of weird. It's hard to read for one thing. Your clients, it doesn't work good. Yeah, 0.1. Oh, see, that was right. Can't highlight it, but BioStar, it sees where it's pointing all the way through the other router. It doesn't know the host name because it's red black BioStar. It's too long for these routers to read. I didn't know that when I did that originally, but I didn't want to change it and mess things up on the machine. Anyway, yeah, 192.160.117 should take me to it. I'm not sure why it's not going there. Yeah. Can even paste it in there to make sure I'm getting it right. Yep. Just sitting there. It's not giving me an error or nothing. Could try a different, what is this one? This is just remote Vinegary, yeah. Remote desktop viewer. Let's disconnect and see if it'll connect on a different one. Romania. Try that one, I guess. Nope. Didn't work. I think this one should work. I'm going to disconnect. Let me get back on that machine. Well, I forgot one of the main things here. I'm going to close the program for now. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't have a bunch of stuff running. Okay. Go back and show the screen in case something. Well, camera 2's not doing anything now. Neither camera's doing anything. Okay, camera 1. Now earlier, when I was doing my during my tests, screen test, I always have to do screen test before I start. Camera 1 wasn't working, and I ended up the VNC is finally working. It just took forever. Let's see. Now I forgot to look at that password. I got it out, but I didn't look at it. Maybe it just now got to where it'll work, but I'm going to try it in this one. That's the other one, the second one I tried. Okay. Okay, it works. Press F8. Okay. Okay, it's working, so, but I don't know why my camera true quit working either. Back on the desktop. Oh, I wasn't on the desktop, so you didn't see none of that. Okay, but I'm okay. Got what I wanted out of it. I want to see if the other one will work because I like it a lot better. Maybe sorry, it might take just as long. I think it just wasn't all, everything wasn't started up maybe. Yep. I guess it just takes that long for that machine. It's only a dual core, I think it has 3 gig of RAM. And it has lots, I have servers on it, I have all I played with everything on that machine. And so I've got all kinds of things on it. And I can't even uninstall anything because the repos they're gone. Well, they're still there in the archives of Fedora, but they're not there in the, let's see, I need to, oh, F11. Yeah, you need to know that or you have trouble getting out sometimes. So now I can do full screen. And so I might even have some of these text editors in the top. Anyway, I can remove programs, much less install any. You have to have the repos to do that. Acetone, so I guess I don't have. Oh, I think they're on the desktop. I know I have at least 1 or 2 linked so I could find them easy. Comparator is one of them, and PuTTY, Paizo IDE, Rex Editor, Search Tool, find and replace text in multiple files, directories. CMonkey, oh, CMonkey. That was the one below it. Let's see, tags. These were things that I, would use. I didn't use them real often, but I couldn't remember the names of them, so let's try that one first. Oh, well, let's open the other one up too and see. These are my 2 favorites. There's I think at least 4 on there. Left URL, right URL. Now that can be local, and I think it can also be remote. This is a comparer. This is to compare files, and you can make them the same. It's really good for stuff like that. Okay, let's see. I want to get out of that one. I don't think that's what I want. Now, this one, this is a search and replace. Now, I don't know if it can do remote. Yeah, I don't think it can do remote. Let's see. Can try it. No, I don't think it can be. Look, it can't look into folders with dots in front of them. Yeah, if it could look into folders with the dot in front, I could go to the where. Oh, first you'd have to mount the network. I might be able to do that. Mount a network drive. Let's see. My desktop backgrounds change automatically. Actually, go to places. Network, well, connect to a server is actually the best way to do that. Okay, I don't want public FTP. I don't know if it'll do SFTP. I think SSH is more like a shell. Try it though, because I think FTP with login is still regular FTP, but just with the login. Let's try SSH. I may be wrong, but. And I may not be able to get it because it's on another router. Let's see, this one's on the back tail end of the daisy chain, so it should work. Actually, you still should be able to go there. 103? No, 153. Glad you caught that for me. 192.168.0.153. I won't put a folder in there. Oh, it's going to ask. Yes, I do. I do trust that machine. Remember after I log out. Okay, now, let's see. Yeah, when you've already got the software, it's a lot easier. Okay, now here's what I'm hoping after I did that. I'll go back over here and it will show up over here. Let's see. Do I see it? No, but if not, still show up in other. I do not see it. Guess not. Oh, close the program and open it again. It might see. See, that's FCP. It did work though by SSH. SFTP on. So that was how you do that. If you're in Fedora, you still do that in the newer versions of Fedora too, I believe. You can go to places. But if you say network, then a lot of that won't even work still. Only one I've ever really seen it work good with is with Samba Windows networking. If you have that set up and have Samba installed, SMB, they call it for short, or NFS, which I used to set up and use, but they consider that less secure, and they made it really hard to install. Used to be easy to install and get going. So anyway, I like SFTP better anyway. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. Find and replace text. Yeah, now let's see if it sees anything different. So far, no. Oh, if I go to the desktop? No, it's going to let me go into the desktop. You know, if I go into the desktop, maybe I'll see it. Let's see if I'll see a link to it or something. Nothing that you could click on. Try searching for 192 and just see. Nope. Finding files, but well, there's some folders, but I don't think it's going to be that. These are old stuff. Yeah. Lots and lots of files, backup drives galore on this system. Let's see, what is it showing up as? I didn't, SFTP 192.168.0.153, so let's try that again. I didn't type the whole thing in there. Nope. Sometimes you know just where you want to go, but you can't get there. What is this application again? Regexer, okay. Regexer? It's a funny name. Okay, let's see if we can thought I had that. Yeah, I do have it open. Okay, let's navigate over to the folder I want to go to. It's really hard to drag those sometimes on the remote desktop. I want to go to, let's go to etc Yes, please go down to the next one. Won't do it. Dang it. Uh-oh. Yeah. Still goes right back to that folder, but it won't go to the file. Well, maybe it finally went close. Okay, name config. Now, open with other application. Let's see if we can do regexer. Oh, there's no search bar in this one. The older ones didn't have a search bar. I don't think using the custom command would work. I don't know what the command is for sure. But yeah, okay, you can. Didn't find it though, did it? Some of those programs that there's a link on my desktop, they're not really installed. They're just in a folder and I run them from that link. So if they're not really installed, if they're like running portable type mode, then standalone mode, what I like to call it, because it's not really portable, then oops, then it won't show up in here. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'll go to try to, but I don't want to tell it to remember that, because I don't know if it'll work. Boy, if you do that, leave that remember this checked, then it'll always try. And it doesn't give you an option. It just goes away. It doesn't, it's really hard to fix that. Ah, it worked. It worked. At least I think it did. Recursive, hidden. I'll also find hidden files. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, that, no, it opened it, but it didn't open that. Oh. Now let's see if I can get where I wanted to go in the first place. Now it might have the dot folders showing up. I don't know where they'll be, but no, it's not. It's 26 gigabytes. Just want to go to a network. Nope. I think it would show up now. Even so, it's not anything you could select, even if it did. Oh, look in media, make sure. See, that's where all the hard. This is how Fedora used to mount everything in media. And media or mount, MNT. Where's mount? Do it in alphabetical order. Boot, nothing in there. That's from stuff I was doing. And home. Now here, let's see if I can go where I'm trying to go. Here. It's going to be something with an R. I can't even remember. Not regexer, but I'm talking about the folder where they mount things like remote drives and stuff. Completely different than how they do it in. Oh, now here's something I might be able to do. Think about that. Now that I've got it opened up, let's just go ahead and close this. This machine doesn't handle a lot of stuff being open at the same time. Actually, I can FTP this machine. I just thought of that. I can FTP into that machine. Let's see, would that be better? We'll see once we get in here. Takes it a while. See, that's why I close that other program, because it takes it a while to just open up another program, especially for some reason Crusader, it takes a while to open it up. And oh, it's probably doing those. Yeah, it's doing the indexing. So I'm going to pause the indexing in the desktop search. It never gets to finish indexing because I never run it long enough. There's an update. I'll guarantee you it's. Oh, there's two. One's for Flash. I guarantee that. I usually run them when I have it open and running. But first, let's just get down to business. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's my websites. Okay, so on this side, go to my home directory, gvfs.gvfs. There it is right there. Aha. See, since I'd mounted that drive, let's go ahead and do an alphabetical order. etc. Names, and you should be able to. There we go. See, I can hit named, and then the folder is up there. I went to, and then if I go again, hit down again on the arrow key, it goes to the next entry of name. That's why I love this program. Now, see if I can open it up with regexer. Open with merge tool, Genie, Emacs, Vi. See, there's almost every program that's on the machine is going to be showing up in here. Maybe regexer is not. Yeah, it may not be installed like I thought. Kwrite, LeafPad, Carolyn, gedit, every word. Okay, that's why. Yeah, it's not installed. Let's see. Regexer. Let's see if it can do it. Oh, it did it. It's not in the list, but we did get into the etc folder pattern. Okay, I don't want every file in there being renamed. And that's what I think that means. Oh, we're going to show hidden. Oh, it should show the files down here. Yeah. Oh, find files. Okay. So I should have said named in there then I can find it. But there's everything in the etc folder. So let's try named. Okay, I really didn't even catch on to what. Oh. Name config or C1F. See if it'll find it. There. Now it should only be one entry. Alright, now we want to search for, I can copy and paste it out of there to make sure I get that right even. Is that even in here? I don't think I need to be in the name config. It doesn't have the any IP addresses. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Right there. I just took it out by accident. Good thing it has an undo, huh? Slip of the right click and you'll be dead. Didn't paste it in there. Must not be Control V must not be working in the remote console there. The remote desktop. See, I'm running all this through remote desktop, so that's fine as long as it works. I don't care. But I do need to know my okay, F11 gets me out of there. I'll go back over here and get my, well, that'd be the quickest way to get it. It's ready to log in. I want to get my IP address, my external IP. Yeah, I'm painfully aware of how much slower this is, but like I said, I think it's going to be very accurate. Now, I could put more files in here. Actually, I think I can do that. First, let's just do this one and then see, because I'm not sure. Okay, now then. Oh yeah, we need to go back to full screen so that we can see it all. Find. There we go. Why is it in there twice? I think I messed up just now when I... Why is it like that? Oh, I see. Yeah, there's been some edits. Okay, get it all back to no edits. Yeah. Okay, now we replace. And I don't have any typos. Now, I can look at that. It's going to be... Yeah, you do it backwards. So... And that's very hard. Okay. I'll leave the dots in there. I think that'll help. You start with the 82. Then you do 15. Typo. 24. And what I understood, yeah, you do not put the first one, 82.15.24, and then you do .in. Let me go ahead and look at that. I'm going to undo and then redo again. I have to do a lot of undos, but yeah. Well, where's the redo? Yeah, .in. I just wanted to make sure that there's not a redo. There's only an undo. Yeah. Well, we just have to do it again. So, oh, I've undid that. Okay, so we want to find it, and then we have to replace it. Okay. Now, 82. 15, 24. 82, 15, 24. Now, this is the way I understood it to be. Now, I should be able to just hit save. Yes, it allows me to do that. Okay. Very good. That's editing it remotely. Now, let's go see how successful we were before we move on to a bunch more files. I'll go straight over to the machine and name config. Let's view it. Okay. Now this might not seem like, yeah, 82, 15, 24, 47. Okay. Might not seem like much right now, but these other ones are going to be more complicated for me. Or name. Now, I've got all these other files that I got to do that in. So, this one I want to take out of there. Oh, I guess if I take it out of the search, will it go away? No. How do you clear what you got in there? Well, I guess I can just say no on that file, but oh, I want to get out of ETC and get, how did I get to specifically into ETC? Oh, I right-clicked and opened. Let's just close it. There we go. Now, I'm going to go to var. Name. Var name. Now, we want to open, just click on a file. I know it won't actually open it, but and I guess, I don't think that's still in my, nope, that's what's in there now. Gosh. Yeah, I would like to, well, you don't want to always associate it with that, but it wasn't in there, was it? Let's see. Pretty sure it's not one of the programs shows up. Just going to go through them all because I have no idea what section it would be in. It wouldn't be in electronics or games. We can skip those. Sometimes you'll be fooled like it might be in the graphics directory or something. It's G, something really weird. What is it? Reg Xer. I thought it was G something. Reg Xer. Okay. Probably should just copy it and put it in there. Yeah, it's taking all day. Okay, so where's it? There it is. Properties. There's the name right there. Oh, the command. Oh, yeah, that's how you can find out the command if you look at the shortcut, but you can also screw it up. I cut it by accident. I don't know why that always happens at the worst times. Copy. Just my finger slipped and let go, but it happened to let go on something, telling it to do something. There. Good. Okay, now. Now it's in var named. Okay. Yeah, it can do local or remote. And files as well. I don't want every file in that directory though. How am I going to differentiate? Yeah, Bishop code, because that's the only ones I actually want to edit, right? Yeah, only the ones that say Bishop code in them. Yeah. Didn't know there were so many named files in there. Empty, loopback, all that. But Bishop code. Here we go. I think you're going to need the, well, let's try it. Let's try a search and see. I think I may have to use the wildcards to find, well, any of them, looks like. Because they're not all just named Bishop code. So you should be able to do wildcard at the front and the end and find them. Yeah. Okay, so I guess you have to edit each file at one at a time. And I guess I'm going to have to copy and paste again. I thought it would do multiple files. What did I do? Oh, when I hit Control V, it doesn't work. Oh, I think it will. I don't know. We'll find out. Unless you have to. No, you can't select more than one file at a time. But you can select different files with your information up here in the top. There's other ones, but this one's good. I can pick up on using it pretty quickly, so. I think my IP is right up there in the top, yeah. Yep. Make sure it hasn't been changed. You could change it any time. Okay. And go back over here. Okay. Fine. There we go. Replace. Oh, you can do all files. This file, all files. Yeah. So, that's what I want. Let's see about this one. Yep. I didn't look at them first, but I know, of course, that that's what I want. Now, see, now that is something that you could handle doing. Not super, super easy, but a heck of a lot easier than manually trying to get all those right. Now then, save all right there. That's a cool program, isn't it? You can do local or remote. It's kind of set up for doing this sort of thing with. This could be used on websites too. It's kind of what I used to use this kind of stuff on. Well, that's what I used to use this kind of stuff on pretty much most of the time is my websites. Okay, so now I'll restart everything. I guess I'll just restart the machine. Well, I might do that restart. Just kind of looking them over. Like I said, there is one other file that I still don't know where exactly. I don't know exactly where it was. Let's do this. Oh, I did that again. But it's copying it is what it's doing. Okay, but I'm going to close these so I don't want to mess anything up from what I've done there. Wonder if you can open it up. I really don't know if it was in, I think it was in var named. I wonder if I can open up. No, I'll have to go to a file. So actually it doesn't. Gedit, but not. I don't actually want to always open it up with that. So reg, regexxer. Let's see if we can remember that long enough to type it. Only thing is, if I get it wrong, well, as long as it doesn't remember it, it's fine. Okay, so we're going to be in the var directory, which I think is fine. Now, all I want to look for is that right there inside of any files, right? Or is it that's the file name? I don't think it'll find anything. Oh, I didn't do hidden. I think that's only file names that we're searching, the folder pattern. I think it searches inside the file, or does it? Look at all those samples there you could go by. See, split up for HTML files. Oh, you can do file types, yeah. But these don't have your normal file extensions, so it wouldn't help. It's not going to find that. And what was that other program? Already forgot. Comparator, yeah. That would do that sort of thing. Let's go into, oh, you can't just switch folders, I don't think. Unless it's like in the memory or something. Try recent. Where's the recent thing? Recently used. Not where I want to go. Okay. Yeah, that never worked. Okay, so that's a crazy way to get to that, but it does work. So that's in var name. Let's go to etc. And I'll just, well, it doesn't really, oops. Named config, named root. I'm going to open it on name. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Open with, is that right? Yep, that was it. Okay, now, I don't think, let's just try that and see. I'll put the, you have to keep hitting hidden, and I think those, since there's, really are system files, are going to be considered hidden files. No, it's looking for file names, not inside. That you can't. I guess you can't search inside of a file name. And with this one, a lot of them you can. That's one of the cool things about them. You can just go to a directory and do it. So let's see if it can be done with defuse. Let's see, what's the name of the other one that I like? Comparator. Now I'm not wanting to merge files or anything, but defuse genie. Don't tell me comparator's not one of them either. Looks like it's not actually, it might not be actually installed either. Let's try that defuse first. I think maybe it's pretty well about as good as any. VI improved. That's, they're always typing VI to get up, use the VI command line editor. Well, this is a GUI version of VI. But there's also Vim, I believe. Or either that or they're both the same program. I'm going to open up the defuse merge tool. Okay, so it actually opened up that file. So you would have to pick another one to, compare it to. Now what I was wanting to do is open a new tab, open modified files, reload file, two-way file merger, three-way. Yeah, that's really all it's for. look for replace. Let's see. Yeah, regexer. Just do applications. Oh, carousel. I bet that one don't run. That look. If it doesn't have an icon, it's usually either an add-on to another program or a command line program, and it won't run in the GUI. So I would say, I'll open up regexer one more time and see if I'm missing anything that it can do. Let's look at Vi just to see if it. Vi, there's the file. It's a nice looking editor. I mean, nice looking text in there. Got the color codes and everything. What I was wondering about is this Vim. This is Vim. So Vim is Vi improved, I think. Maybe that's where I got the whole Vim thing. Yeah. So I want to make sure I don't change anything there. That one I could use. I actually like that. I would prefer that one for editing those kind of files because I like that color coding when you're doing that. So if you can't do a folder, let's see. This is why I still miss this system. It's got everything I could ever want and more. And you can usually find them by using this search tool. So you can see all these tools that are available for regular editing. Now they could all be used in nefarious ways. If someone, if you have a SFTP SSH server running on your server and it's open to the internet, which is, well, I went in there with an SSH shell tunnel, but as FTP, not as an SSH shell. So that's why all that's so really very dangerous, since so many people are always trying to break into stuff nowadays and tearing them up. Okay, folder. Already looked at, oh, now there's a bunch of edit stuff. Emacs. I'm glad I hesitated because I just knew it would be a bunch more stuff to get this up and running and connected to it, but that's what I kept feeling like I ought to do for last several times I worked on this. That was worth it. I should have just started out like that before I even did it. Well, I was doing all that looking at all the files to try to make sure I was getting what I needed to back up. I'm still wondering about this one file. Oh, I do know how I can find it with Crusader, and then I can open it up in the text editor of my choice. Just now hit me. Now with this older version of Crusader, you could log in like I said I always did, but I already had this network drive mounted, so I just did it that way. Just went to it. But you can just go and do SFTP. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think you can do it. Oh, and Control V pasted in there like it should. SFTP. It should just, it might say, you know, not recognized and all that stuff. But yeah, okay, it's got. Hellman group. I think that's talking about your, oh, that looks so different. SSA, yeah, I think it's the RSA keys, and it used to have a different 192.168. Have I typed anything wrong? Used to have a different, you know, it was a different machine. Let's see if it can do FTP. So you can go into your, go to your home directory. Oh, it's got to be .it, I think. .ssh. Whoops. Yeah, there it is. .ssh, authorized keys. See, there's I have keys on this one. Known hosts. Oh, it's known hosts, I think. Hit enter on this, and it'll go straight to open it up and edit it on this in this version here. 153 RSA key. See, so it's been logged into as a different machine, but you can delete. You can, if you do it right, if you hit delete instead of end, delete, save. I don't want to get rid of that GitHub deal in case I need to log into the GitHub again. Now, let's see. I might be able to. No, I can't go back because I never made it to that. I'll go back to that other folder. I don't really like staying in those system folders. I think, oops. Since I have that in my, I think I can do both at the same time. No. Maybe because I'm logged in over here on the, already got it mounted as a network drive. Not sure. Or the newer version of Fedora 28 is not compatible with it. That's not the same old era of, you know, of the RSA key era. It could be that it's using a key that the older version doesn't recognize. I'll have to find out later. So we'll just get out of there right now. That's my backup of my web server. That's what that is over there. All right, so etc. Let's go to named first. Oh, var name. Oh, I was a little ahead of myself. But funny that it even went there at all. Okay, so I'm going to search every, you know, in that directory for any file, but for the text, right there. Any file with the text of that. And let's see if there's a new file comes up besides the ones I just edited. Data name. Now I know those aren't files that that's probably temporary files. Yeah, those are not files that I want to. And it's finished searching. Okay. So now we're going to get back into etc. I don't remember going anywhere outside of, you know, name, var named, and etc. To do any work. Could be wrong, but now as far as etc, that's a long one. That's why I thought I'd do it second. But the etc folder, case sensitive. It doesn't need to be case sensitive. Whole word only. Yeah, let's do whole word only. Well, no, let's don't. Yeah, because otherwise you'll get 15s and dots and everything else under the sun. Remote content search. Well, I guess it worked. It worked a minute ago. I guess since it's mounted here, it doesn't see it as remote content, even though it is. Since you also search in archives, oh, well, let's don't. Dadgummit, I don't want to search in archives. I don't want to anyway, so it went ahead and searched. But it's working, I guess, because it's mounted on this machine, even though it's remote. That's pretty. I didn't know it did. I thought it was still seen as remote to Crusader, no matter how it was mounted. I usually logged in like I was showing you that actually didn't work. Now we've got lots of files with that in there. But it may be, well, 192.168. It's working so far. Fake root, yeah, that's stuff to protect you from attacks and stuff. It must be installed by default with the Fedora server. Logs. Yeah, this is a little more involved to try to find it, but finish searching. Okay. Logs, alternatives. It's actually some interesting stuff. Okay, issue, cockpit. Okay, so where I usually have search in subdirectories. Oh, there it is, search in archives. Okay. Remote content search, I didn't have to do that. Follow links, case sensitive, match whole word only. Well, that wasn't too long of us. Okay, so normally I always search in archives too. That can make it really long though if you're searching a really bunch of directories. But I didn't find any partials anyway, so I don't see another file. I mean, I could search the whole frickin' file system, but maybe I'll try it and see. It's going pretty fast. But because I know it's in another file somewhere that's not something I would recognize, you know, that I've seen before. Oh, it's finished this time. So those others, a lot of those others were archives. I'll be darned. So this is HTTP logs. So yeah, so I'm going to close it again. It's easier to do it that way than to try to reselect a directory. Yeah, okay, now we're, whoops. Okay, now we're at the root of the whole system. If I can not triple my work here, triple my inputs. You see, there's not. It doesn't have a GUI or any of that other stuff, so it may not be all that bad. No archive, search in subdirectories, whole word only. I kind of want to do that, but yeah, no. Since it worked exactly as expected, let's just do it. It might make it not work right. It might narrow it down in a way that, I don't know, with the dot, you know, this is not a word, it's numbers and dots, so it seems to be working, so let's don't fix it. You know, this Crusader this version is so powerful and so wonderful to use. I wish the newer, that's why I complain, I wish the newer one would work like this one. And there's only a few things, like the remote SFTP login and things that don't work anymore, but it's things that really matter to me. So, but I can do this. I don't think about it sometimes. I forget, you know, but I can boot the old machine up. That's why I saved it, for days like these. That red Xer, I need to try and see if I can install that. Well, sometimes a program like that was in early development at the time I got it, and now it's actually in the Fedora repos. But actually, why don't I look for it while we're waiting for that search to finish? I didn't mess it up, did I? No. So now I can't find it. There we go. I just want to get off of there. Okay, REGEXXER. Okay, now let's go to my machine. What have we got going on here? Yeah, it's my machine. Okay. How well are we doing? We're still doing okay on our system resources, but if I open up DNF, let's just try installing it. Instead of opening up the graphic user interface, if it's available, it should work. Yeah, no command install. Oh. Let's try spelling install right. Guts to have two L's. Yep. We'll search for it, and then if it's there, and if it's the right, you know, like the name is right, that's how you. Sometimes just because that's the name they give a program, that doesn't mean that's the exact way you type it to get it to install. You know. I also like comparator a lot, so I might try that one too. While we're waiting on that, we'll check on, oh, where's my window? Oh, I got out of it. Comparator. Boy, that, I don't think I can remember that. There. Try to be really careful. So far, no hits on that search. Ah, hey, it's there. For 245 whole kilobytes. Can you believe it? Now I'll have that on my machine. And I'm pretty sure it's like I said, actually I can confirm that it's not actually installed. Sometimes they're installed and they don't show up in that search. That being a program that's been on there for a very long time, it would just be some kind of bug, I guess, in the search, or a fluke or whatever, because it's been that whole, even though I keep turning off the scanning on that search tool, it's been ran many, many times because I had that on there for years and used it. And it's still slow at installing even with that little tiny little program. DNF is just painfully slow. If it wasn't for the fact that I went on for years, like 5 years, if it wasn't for the fact that Firefox finally quit updating, speaking of updates, Firefox finally quit updating. I finally had to give up and quit using Fedora 14. The only thing I was worried about security-wise was Firefox and Thunderbird, really. And Firefox and Thunderbird, I had them set up in standalone mode, and so they automatically updated themselves, even though there wasn't much updating on the system anymore. That, and like I said, Flash and stuff. And I don't even use Flash anymore on the newer systems, but I did. You had to back then to watch any videos on the internet or anything. That's how they were all made, with Flash, But get this installed, and then I'll try Comparator, because that's a good one too. I'm getting hungry again. Must mean it's about my dinner time, I guess, my supper time. Well, let's go back. I thought that would be done quick, but I knew this would take a while because I'm searching that whole system. And I do want to do that update, but I don't want to do it while it's working so hard trying to. That really works the system hard. Crusader doing a file search, especially. Well, I don't know if it works it any harder to do it on a remote file system, but it definitely just works it hard. So I don't want to give it anything else to do. Okay, it's done. Now I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't save output as in this terminal. Let's see. DNF install. You can't do Control V. Got to do paste. And it might be a big K or it might be a little K. We'll find out. No match, right? So I think it's, yeah, they said try comparator. Little K. Some of them, they have to be spelled, they're case sensitive, and it has to be a capital letter, Still no match. Isn't that funny? That's a KDE app, and I just knew it would. At least, yeah, it's a KDE app. I just knew it would work. Oh, it's already installed. Skipping. Sorry, I just saw an output and it didn't say, you know, do you want to do this or whatever, and I just said, oh, it doesn't work, but it did work. Okay, so I already have comparator because I did that in my groups, I guess, my group installs. Now I'm gonna like to do another text file. Oh, let's do it. I think I can do it from there. No, this is a terminal window. I don't have any text editors open, do I? Guess I could. They use less resources than I usually just use LibreOffice. Oh, I know what it can do. I can open up my favorite, yeah, Kwrite, and I'll just open up Kwrite, I guess. Actually seems to be heavier on the resource usage than some of the others, but oh, I wanted comparator, and I got the whole thing. I took it out, back out there. I need to say what machine it's on, or it's sometimes of no value. Sometimes I forget to do that. It's fine when I have it in the right folder, but okay. When I do a search, you know, like especially if I do like a backup search or system-wide search, then it can be a real problem. Okay, that's all I needed out of that, and that's all I want to do out of there. So, yep, there it is. It was already, that's the one that was already installed. Now let's see about regexer. Let's see if it shows up in the search. Of course, some of them won't show up until like after a reboot, but yeah, there it is. Didn't really need to open it. Cool. That's a good thing. Now let's see. Right. It doesn't show up as a with text. Let's see if it shows up. Some of them, they have like basically like keywords in their descriptions, and some of them will show up. You don't have to know. That's why I use that search all the time, because I can't remember the names of apps. So yeah, I mean, how else would I find it? I'll look. As you can see, that's going to be one of those ones that's going to be hard to find. And maybe that's why I didn't ever find it, because I wasn't doing the right kind of search that'll help you find it. Usually there's something that comes up down there that tells you. No? Okay, well it was, see, regexer, command regexer, categories, GTK, genome development. Search tool. There it is, search. Now I may not think of that, you know, again. Hopefully I will. Either I remember regexer or I remember to do search to find it. Search and replace tool. It's not just a search tool. Okay, this is still searching, speaking of. So let's see. Yep, shows up. So that's why I couldn't find it. It's not because it's not installed. It's because it's a hard one to find. No, it doesn't. let's see. Some of them. Yeah, comparator's installed too. So, but some of them, I forget how you comments. There we go. The comments. KD directory synchronization. So if I'd have thought of synchronization, if I'd have thought of sync, it probably would have come up. Yeah, now it came up top one. We replace register comes up. So if I'd have thought of that, so it's findable. It's just not. But I guess that's why I put them on there. They're not findable in my brain very easily. Boy, it's taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. I could have just went ahead and rebooted and seen what the machine was going to do, but I really wanted to be thorough about my editing. I hear that machine working pretty hard now. And sometimes you give it too much to do, it just won't be able to handle it. It'll get to where it slows down to where it can't run anymore. So, let's see. Yeah, I want so badly to turn, but that this is Yum, not DNF, and there's 2 updates, which would take longer than just one. But even opening it up would really put a lot more strain on the machine. And I hear the one of the fans making noise. It's either the CPU fan or actually the video card fan is the one that I found out was the one making the horrible noise I couldn't stand, and I bought a new one and replaced it. And it's not very loud now when it's not working real hard, but once it starts working hard, let's open up the that usually doesn't hurt to have the system monitor, and if it does get in trouble, instead of having to hard shut it down with the button, I can shut it down with you see how hard the Crusader's working it? 45% of CPU plus 5%. Then the SFTP, GVSD, that's the way I mounted it. It's not any slouch either on the resource usage. SSH, I mean, that machine is working hard. That's the total, not just one CPU, but this is a dual core. So then other things. Bino server, that's the remote desktop server, but it's not using very much. Yeah, it's jumping back. I mean, it's definitely noticeable. Notice nothing else has any % of CPU usage. Oh, Xorg is really making it that's the graphic user interface, the whole thing. X11, it's working hard. Oh, and the memory, that's something you got to really watch. See, it's using. Oh, that's only 136 megabyte. That's no big deal. This one, that's not a big deal either, really. As long as it doesn't get out. If it starts using like a gigabyte or something, then I'm in trouble. Some apps will go nuts and start using up, climbing and use all the memory on your machine and lock the whole thing up. And it's usually the memory that does that on. Usually they'll just keep on trying, and I don't care if you leave it for an hour, it'll keep working very, very slowly, but keep trying till it gets it done, or you get tired of waiting. If it's the CPU usage, but if it's the memory and it gets out of control memory use, I don't know what they really call it, then then it will. Yeah, see, the Crusader doing that search is causing Xorg to use all that. Anyway, if it's the memory, it will flat lock them up. And I've had actually. OBS Studio, what I use to stream my videos with, it will do that when it's, now this is back on my machine, it will do that when it gets out of whack sometimes. Don't know what causes it. And Crusader will do it whenever you're doing a big search, a whole lot of files. And actually, I never used to use it because it was hard to use. It didn't bring back good results, but I liked it. I used to like that searcher, but this one's actually better now. The new version of the Mate search tool, which is probably like Genome Search originally, it will search my whole backup drive in about 10 minutes, I think, and it won't lock up the machine or anything. And when you give it different, I don't want to open it right now, but I don't need it, system-wise, but you can give it different wildcards and stuff, and all that stuff works pretty good in it now. So I'm beginning to use that and not the Crusader search tool. Let's see. Yeah, and since this is working so hard, I can't. Well, until I disconnect from that. Until I disconnect Crusader here on the Fedora 14 system, until I disconnect it from the drive. See, it's going slow. The drive that I mounted, the remote drive, the NetProMax server. Those are the coolest machines ever. I found them one day. These were there was quite a few of them made. Well, not quite a few actually. About, I don't remember if it was 15 or 20, maybe 30 at the most, ever made, and they were made to tour. They were made to showcase GM technology, motor technology back in was it the 20s or 30s when they originally made them, and they kept using them. Was it something of tomorrow, something World of Tomorrow or something is what they called it. And then over the years, people have kept them and redone them and still use them just for show cars, and some of them actually use them. That's a green and white one. But see, they were made to do a show. And there was one, I can't think of his name now, a famous evangelist had one, and there's pictures. This changes the desktop backgrounds all the time, but I've got all those pictures in my desktop background folder, and it changes like every 5 minutes, but so I won't be changing anytime soon. But anyway, those things are cool. And let's see. Well, they can be motorhomes. I mean, they were. They lived in them. Usually, whoever was driving them and doing the show for GM, whatever show it was, and they usually lived in them, or at least like out on the road. Maybe when they get somewhere, then they'd go get a hotel when they stop for a while to do show for a while. But it's a really cool history of that. I think it was called World of Tomorrow is what they called it. They started in the World's Fair way back then, and then they started traveling the country. They didn't have no internet back then, They traveled the country to show people their technology. And they were pretty cool back then, and they're still pretty cool now to me. They're just really a interesting, cool design of they're not a motor home. They were, they're way better made. It's all aluminum bodies, and so they didn't rust. That's why they're still around, But anyway, I'm stuck in that spot where everything's I have no idea how long this is gonna search. So I actually thought it'd be done by now, and it hasn't brought back any results yet. So where is it? User share. So it's on down in the directories. I'm wondering why it hasn't brought anything back, because it should have. It doesn't necessarily go in alphabetical order, though. It may not have got to ETC yet, because ETC would be before user. But it doesn't go. I've noticed that over and over and over. I don't know what kind of logic it uses. Computer logic that ain't like mine. But should be a hit come up for ETC, you would think, because it looks like it's already down into the user folder. So it's not, but it probably hasn't been to ETC yet. Oh, I think I already had it. Yeah. I was trying to go back to my machine and got myself turned around. Okay, so let's see, this is on this machine, but on this machine, see user, if I could see it's the last folder right before var, and I know there'll be some in var, but ETC's way up here. So it doesn't go in alphabetical order. I do know that. So let's go back to where I was. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's go to videos. I think what I'm going to do then, I have no idea how long it's going to be, and I'm getting pretty darn hungry. It's a long video now anyway. It's getting almost 3 hours now. So I think I'll take a break and eat while I let that run, and then I'll plan on coming back when it gets done. That's what I think I ought to do. Because I think it's going to make it. If it locks up on me, then I'll just have to come back and say, well, that didn't work. And I could have used that other searcher. I could use, well, like I said, this one, that one, oh, that is mate search tool. Wait a minute, am I on the right machine? Yeah. Yeah, now I know I'm on the, let's see. No, I wasn't. See that, I never used it because it didn't work very well. I couldn't find anything with it. That is the one I use. Oh, right. You know, it's the same tool for either kind of search, but you'd need to have the indexing done to find anything new. I'll go to a different, well, I shouldn't even click on it now. But anyway, yeah, that, when I was clicking on that to find apps in there, it will do it'll do everything, every kind of file by default, and then if you want to narrow it down by types of files, you can do that once it's done. I did like that, and that is one that I installed. It didn't, not the one that came with. It's not one to come up and show me what it is. There we go. Oh, it still doesn't show you what it is. About this is tracker search tool. That's the one I used to always use because the default one wasn't any good. But it does use quite a bit of resources when it's indexing. So I've just been pausing it every time I get in the machine because that's a cool looking plane. That's completely redone, isn't it? I don't know if that's it's one of those old World War II planes. I started to say nah, I think it's a Spitfire, but anyway, I don't remember. Those couple of those old ones, I used to know them just by seeing his front of the side, or at least, or the side mostly. But I saw that big mouth on the bottom of that one, so I recognize it. I just don't know the name of it, what it's called. So anyway, yeah, I guess I had all that open just because I thought I was going to come right back to it. But let's run through those folders right quick before I quit. So there, that one, that's changed just like it should be. Oops, I hit enter. And that one's changed just like it should be. See, once I got, now if I had 5 domains worth, it would be well worth it to use this tool, this regexer. Okay, but I am anxious to see if this is going to make it show up to GoDaddy is what I'm anxious to see. But there's no point in just trying it when I know there could be another file I need to edit that I just can't find. And at the bottom, forward and reverse, and it could be that my reverse setup is still wrong. I kind of thought you had to set up that reverse. Well, I followed those instructions over and over and over. I was thinking you had to do this, and no, I guess not. I was thinking you did it in either the main zone file or all zone files. But this is where I have it, and I didn't get any errors. But the reverse lookup, well, it works on the internet. Let's see. Yeah, it works on the internet, but not locally. So I haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah, it works on the internet, so it's not broken. Oops, did something wrong. Hit the wrong letter, wrong key. Yeah, see, you don't have a reverse in there. And the forward, you don't. Oh, the reverse, you should have it in there. It's not in there in the reverse fashion. You don't think maybe I have that wrong? Oh, that right there I think is what takes care of it. Yeah, this is the name server one, not the... Yeah, okay. I mean the NS1. That is what I think takes care of the reverse. Right there, see the... Oh, 153. That should say 192.168. It should say 82. Oh, I found a mistake. Okay. Well, I'll just edit it right there. Well, good thing I looked. 82. Yeah, it should say the last number, and that's supposed to be the reverse. One of the guys I was watching his videos, he said you don't have to type the whole thing, just type the last letters after the last dot. Okay. Now, F2 to save. Good, good, good. So it pays to fiddle around and look at more stuff. You see, but look at all the things you have to change in order to change your IP address. That's why you need a static IP. That's the first thing they tell you. So if I have to put, see, and the thing is, they were putting their internal IPs, but they were just setting up an internal server. There's only one guy that was setting up for websites. I really thought, I don't remember him. I don't remember one way or the other. I had to go back and look at the video or the screenshots of the video. But I don't remember if he was using an external or internal IP in his zone files and all that. His, you know, and so this could completely not work. But if this is the way it has to be for it to work with GoDaddy, then every single time I needed to change my IP, I would have to edit every one of these files, and that's just not worth it. So we'll just see. Guess I went blank. Yeah, there's just one other, like I said, there's one other file. I'm not sure where that darn thing is that I had to put. Maybe I put my external IP in it, and that's why it hasn't, you know, I haven't found it too. But one other file that I'm going to get out of this because give it less. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and close this connection too, because I can always, no, let's don't do that, because I don't think it's using a lot of, it's not using any resources on the machine. In the connection, I mean, it's not, if it's not doing anything, it's not going to be, you know, using up bandwidth on the internet, I mean on the local network. So I went completely blank when I started thinking back and forth there, but see if that still looks like it's going to ever finish. Yeah, it's still staying about the same. It's not going nuts and climbing. Crusader's not the one using a lot now. It's actually the FTP and the Xorg. Crusader calmed down, so they do that. So I'm going to let it try. I know what hit me is, you know, it hit me that if this search tool, wherever it went, there it is, if that search tool could search on remote, or it could search on this sense how it's mounted, you know, locally, then I might have to let it do indexing. I would, or it couldn't find anything. But I think I might be able. This is really fast. Well, it takes forever to reindex, though. Really, yeah. It could be a lot. It's a way faster search tool than, you know, the one built into Crusader, but it does have to index first, and then the next time you come back, it'll index pretty fast. The first index takes a long time. The new ones, this one here, it somehow bypasses that need to index, like in the way the other one did. These newer search tools are made and better, you know, they work better. So anyway, now I'm glad I figured that out. Now I think I really will do what I said. And oh, I forgot that one of my cameras wasn't working. Let's see if it's working now. Oh, it's working now. I don't know what happened to it a while ago. It went black and now it's back. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and eat. Of course, these cameras all need a rest. All the machines are really going to, after 3 hours, it's 2 hours and 59 minutes, they all really need to be rebooted and everything. But, well, I can't reboot the Red Black Battlestar. It's doing the Crusader search, and the NetPro Max is the one being searched, which that's fine. But yeah, all these I can reboot once I shut down the video. That's right. Okay. Plus the phones. Don't do the router. That would break your search. Remember that. Because I always do After a long video like this, I usually reboot the modem and the router, but I can't do that. I could do the modem if I wanted, but it's the router that needs it the most. The Wi-Fi gets, the cache and the Wi-Fi gets full, and all is what I think happens. But I'm starving now, so I'm gonna go. But I am hoping to come back, and unless something goes crazy wrong or something, should be able to come back after I eat and get back on what I got going. Hopefully it'll be done pretty soon. It's going to take all freaking night long, then I may change my mind about waiting that long. We'll see. Okay. I'll see you later then.